Hey, everybody, I'd like to welcome you to another House of Bricks live event. We're continuing our StartupX Founder Series. I know you've heard some great personal stories of why people have started their business, the impact they're trying to make. And we also talk about some of the struggles. We talk about the struggle zone all the time here on the House of Bricks, but just because you're struggling does not mean you're headed in the right direction. So a lot of people confuse activity with progress. And look, we all do it. We're creatures of habit, spending most of our time doing the things we know we should not be doing. But, with focus and community, you're able to narrow in that focus and start to make progress. So today, I want to introduce two founders and really an incredible story, Gary and Dana. They're founders of a company called Popticals. So I'd like to welcome you both to the House of Bricks StartupX Founder Series. How's it going?
Great. Good. Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Well, it's great to have you. And it's been really great getting to know you over the last month or so and being a part of our StartupX program, which, again, we have our internal contest tomorrow. We've worked on a lot of different things, but most importantly, if you're a founder and you can't pitch, it's time to pack up your tent because look, investors get so many presentations and options of places they can put their money, but with the right pitch and process and vision, money will follow. So before we get into the business itself, the most important thing in any business is or are the founders. So tell us a little bit about you and your story and how you got started with Popticals.
Yeah, so I was in the corporate world for 20 years, all kinds of roles, mostly financial services, but sales leadership, strategy, operations. And Dana has a small business that she's been running for the last 7-8 years. And so it's kind of weird how it came about. Her business was starting to grow and I was helping her out more and more and just kind of enjoyed the freedom of, helping her create and building that business. And we started talking more and more about doing something together. And so we were really looking for an opportunity to do that. Her business is a great business, but it's not necessarily set up for scale. And so we knew if we want to do something together, we'd have to figure something out. But we kind of sat down and talked about what's important to us. And we want, the business and your job, typically it becomes a big part of your identity. And we wanted it to be something that we're proud of. We're proud to, be a part of and talk about. We also wanted the ability to be able to help people, in different ways, however that might be, and something that could be fun, right? That we'll enjoy over time. And so we kind of stumbled upon this opportunity on accident, looking at different ideas. And it was one of those where, you look at the quality of the actual product and everything, the thought, the detail that goes into it. It's cool. It definitely checked all our boxes, and it was almost like it was a no-brainer. I mean, we've been married so long, like there's a lot of times we don't have to ask each other what we think about it, anything. It's just a look, right? Yeah. And, if it's a long conversation, then it's probably not the right thing. And this was one that just immediately we both looked at each other and smiled like, this is it. Mm-hmm. This is what we're going to do.
Yeah. And every, entrepreneur that's married or their family, whatever it is, they're all in it with you, whether they're actually working in the business or not. Because like you said, I mean, there's no such thing as work-life balance, but it's an even greater dynamic when the two of you are actually working on the business, in the business together. So you're both smiling. So it seems to be going okay. But I'm sure there's some challenges you face, right? How do you resolve those, resolve when you want to go in different directions?
So you might get a couple different answers. So I'll let her go first.
Yeah, he lives by the rule: happy wife, happy life. So that's how we get through our difficulties. But no, we each know each other's strengths and weaknesses, and if he's good at that area of the business, I let him stay in his lane and he lets me stay in mine, and occasionally, you need to have a little bit of someone to bounce ideas off of. And it's good that we both have the shared, vested interest in it. And, we can see it from two different angles. And, I guess one of the big difficulties is separating the work life. Once we go home, we have to take that hat off and be present for our family and our kids and stuff. But yeah, I think it's a work in progress, and we're getting used to it. And yes, we are smiling because we're still having fun with it, and
there you go,
learning from it.
Yeah, I think
go ahead.
Is being in the corporate world for so long, and I traveled a lot for my roles. I was gone almost every week, and you go through all these things, and it's hard you don't want to come home and just talk about work and just blast somebody with then that's all it becomes. And so this is interesting and different because she's on the journey with me now, right? And so but we do have to balance that. And I think she said it really well. The way I kind of think about it is, I'm the CEO of Popticals and she's the COO, and those roles really mean they're kind of blended right now, right? Because we're all doing everything, but ultimately my primary focus is this, and she's supporting me in every way, right? And then when you think about the house, she's the CEO of the house. Our 17-year-old daughter is the COO, and I'm hoping to be promoted to a supervisor soon.
Sky's the limit for you, Gary. Yeah. Sky's
He's in the probation period still after 20 years.
I know how that is. My wife's the chief home officer, so it's just whatever happens, she's kind of running the show, and she does a better job than me. She's Italian. So my 4 sons have no chance of pulling any tricks or gimmicks on her. She, like a German Shepherd, that's not really what you're doing. Trust me, so, but anyway, it's great, to see family founded businesses. You're both passionate about it, having some, we call them team building experiences in your marriage. Cause it is, it's tough. You're trying to build a business, right? The work, family, it all blends together. And part of it, it's just the cost. It's the collateral damage to start something and build. And I know you guys you're on the right track. So let's talk a little bit more about Popticals. Tell us about the brand, where the company sits today.
Yeah, so Popticals is it's a breakthrough in sunglass technology is the way we describe it, right? Where quality and performance meet convenience. So what we mean by that is these are handmade in Italy, right? We eco-friendly, very stylish designs, highly durable. The lenses are with Zeiss vision, so extremely clear, lightweight. The whole thing weighs 1 ounce or less, depending on it. And then what makes them, so that's just cool from a sports perspective or just outdoor fashion, but our taglines for everywhere you're going, you can see there. And the reason being is they have the cool factor where our design allows them to collapse one lens over the other, fold up. And that's actually one of the bigger pairs once it's compacted, right? And it fits in these small cases. Yeah, right in your pocket. And you just think about all the applications for that. Just do you bring your sunglasses or not? Like, where are you going to put them when you're not using them? Those types of things, right? Will she actually hold them for me now? Yes, she will if she needs to, but I'll even hold hers because I could fit them in my pocket. And so that's, there's a huge convenience factor with these, which is great to have quality glasses and never have to worry about going without. And then I think the other thing that makes it really cool is, I love playing golf. One day I'll be better at it, right? Just like every golfer, right? But we have the sports golf specific line, and we have a ballistic specific line. And one of the things that on this journey we're realizing is people think about sunglasses differently than other accessories that you use and need every day. One example we always give is shoes, right? You wouldn't go hiking in flip-flops or, mountain climbing in flip-flops, and you wouldn't run a marathon in boots or anything like that. You have different shoes for different activities. And that's really the case for sunglasses too, depending on the sport, the activity that you're doing, whether they should be polarized or not, what lens color to get the most performance out of them. And that's been interesting for us to be able to explain to people and help them really see if you're wearing the right pair of glasses, like how much that can enhance the activity you're doing and give you that little competitive edge. So, and I don't think a lot of companies do that, and we're trying to make a difference there. And so where we're at, yeah, this has been about a year and a half from the time we made that smile and decided to do this. It's been full speed ahead since then. It's I've worked for a long time, many jobs, really hard, right? Just juggling a million different things, managing teams across the United States, different time zones. Nothing's been as hard as this could possibly be, right? The challenges that you experience every day, the prioritization, the resources. We spent a lot of time in the beginning getting the foundation set really strong, just making sure, supply chains are, we're the manufacturer and the distributor, right? So that's almost those are two different things at the same time. So building that strong foundation, the website to handle volume, customer service, you name it. We really focused on that first before we tried to put the product out. And then I'd say that was about in October last year is when we finally launched. So we spent almost a year getting all that foundation ready. And then we went into the stage where we're launched, but we're making sure we'll be able to handle volume. Like, let's work through those kinks and stuff. So it is a long process, but we chose to do it that way is because we go back to we want to build something we're proud of. We want to build something that, we can support people, all of those things. And we wanted to make sure it was set up right for the long term. And so now where we're at is we're trying to get the word out. We're starting to market and trying to grow this thing. And there's challenges with that too, right? We're a new brand stepping into a market that's
a big arena.
Yeah, it's a big arena. I mean, there's a lot of players, a lot of big players in it. And we have a unique offering, but it's even thinking about how to market it, right? I mean, we put these up against any premium sunglasses and they'll go toe to toe with them. And we have this unique feature of that they collapse.
Right.
But it's gimmicky, right? So it's trying to find that balance of what message is going to resonate with our audience. And we're starting to get some foothold. And but again, every day is a new adventure for sure.
Yeah. And I appreciate you sharing that transparency. Entrepreneurship is difficult. It's the hardest thing that anyone can do is really start a business. No matter how good your product is, you got to be able to communicate why it's different to the consumer. And you're competing with billion-dollar brands, right, that have name recognition. We're all about transparency in the House of Bricks. Like, what are some of the biggest mistakes you feel you've made along the way? If you could turn back time, we wouldn't have done this or that.
Yeah, I think marketing is the one that just hits me all the time. Like deciding what partners to use. I kind of always live by the philosophy when we're leading teams is I don't have to be the smartest person in the room, but I want the smartest people in that room with me, right? And like, let's get the best ideas. And I think just navigating through that perspective, it's a little different than this is a consumer product. It's a little bit different than what my background was. And just there's a couple firms that we brought on initially that maybe weren't the best fit. Not that they didn't have good ideas or but this is not only is it a consumer product that has a unique offering, like this is new to the market. Nobody has anything like this, right?
Yeah.
We're also a new brand, and all these little things are a difference. And just because somebody sold, 1 million units on Amazon with this strategy, it doesn't apply. And so the decisions we made there's a couple that probably, we'll call them learning experiences, right?
Yep.
And we're still learning through that. So that's a big one, right? I think it's easy to spend or lose a lot of money on marketing if it's not done properly. And we felt that. What are some other big ones you can think of?
Just off the top of my head, I think it's the fear of missing out too. We get approached a lot for people wanting to work with us and partner and sponsorships and all this stuff. And although we do want to help and, support other, people that want to work with us, we're at a place where we have to make the best decision for this moment now. And then and it's hard to weigh it because you're like, well, if I don't do this, could I be missing out on, revenue and sales? Or, do I take this, income that we have right now and shift it to this bucket, So it's that fear of missing out, not knowing if you're making the right decision. But at the end of the day, if you feel like you're making the right decision, you're making the right decision. You know?
Yeah, if I could go back in time and if I had no integrity, I'd start an ad agency. Sorry for those of you out there that are, running an ad agency, but I have never seen more, empty promises. And then it's great because they could just blame the algorithm, right? Oh, the algorithm.
Yes, the algorithm.
So we got to test more. So one of the things we encourage founders to do is to really go after those first 100 customers, right? Doing the blocking and tackling, call a friend, call a neighbor, call whoever, just to get some sales traction, get them to tell a person about them. There's ways to scale, but early on, it's really just kind of getting those, first 100 clients and get them to tell 100 people, and then it starts to build some momentum. Of course, ads do work. There's a reason people run them. But for me, and I know all of this, and I've tested things that don't work either, because it's hard to not do it, right? You need sales. So we just try to give founders a lot of focus, because things, do look attractive. Who doesn't want to 10x their business in a month, right? Well, if people knew how to do that, if I knew how to do that, I wouldn't tell anybody. I would just do it with all my own businesses and retire on an island somewhere. So it's really focused, discipline, but you do have to test and learn. Test small because you're probably wrong, and then that will give you the feedback to make better decisions down the road. So talking about Popticals in general, what's your vision here? Where do you want to see this company in 12 months?
Yeah, hopefully in 12 months, where we'd like to be is that this is actually out in the marketplace more, and we're getting more people to see and touch it. Kind of going back, tying it to the last question. One thing we've learned in the first, not necessarily customers, I guess, not clients, right? For us with this consumer product is just once we get these into people's hands, they're blown away. But we also know that this is an old adage, right? Like if somebody has a bad experience, they're going to tell 10 people, and they have a good experience, they might tell one or two, right? And so the passion that they have, the follow-up, even sending us great notes and stuff afterwards, people that, aren't necessarily friends and family, that were just one of the first people that, ended up grabbing these. It's amazing that just how they're blown away and, just the quality and everything. And so it's taking it to the next level. In 12 months, this is disseminated to more and more people. We're hopefully getting those people to become advocates and tell more than one or two people, right? Hopefully some of the social media picks up and, it just starts to take off. So where we hope to be is we're pushing through inventory. I mean, we're in a really good spot from an inventory perspective. We have products, so it allows us to really focus on pushing it out there and getting into people's hands. And it's just being creative. And I think it's that buzz, like numerically, that's a different way to quantify where we'll be in 12 months. But really, I think from a brand perspective, it's hoping that people realize, like, hey, we're not just saying these are golf sunglasses and you should buy them because they're golf. Like, they're golf sunglasses, and you're actually recognizing how they're helping you, and you're telling your friends, and it's starting to get the reputation it deserves. And I think that's really that's 3 months, that's 6 months, that's 12 months. Like, that's the main focus because. I found in my career, if we focus on the numbers, like where we'll be at in 12 months, like that's the ultimate goal, right? But then you have to shift gears and like, these are the activities, these are the 4 or 5 things or whatever it is that we need to do for that to happen. And if we obsess about those numbers, obviously, we may hit them, we may not, right? But if we obsess about the things that we know are going to get us there, usually you blow those numbers away. And so the focus is really about, that's it. Let's get them in people's hands. Let's get them out there. Let's find different avenues to distribute these. Let's find the advocates for us. And, I think it is, we believe wholeheartedly that we have something really special here. And so, but it doesn't matter if the world doesn't know about it.
Right. And if people do want to find out more about your brand, I know Paul put in the chat, it's popticals.com. And one of the things I want to highlight there of what you just said and what we're working on in our StartupX program, if anyone that's listening, you're selling a consumer product or any product, people don't buy products. They buy how they make them feel and what the experience is that it creates. So you can really sell things by two ways. Number one is giving somebody something they want, or taking away something they don't want, right? So it's what you're doing is really giving them a high-end sunglass. So I'm the kind of guy that I never want to spend money on sunglasses, because I know either A, I'm going to lose them, or B, they're going to break in a week. So every time I go out and buy, expensive pair, it takes about a week for them to break. So you're solving a real problem for people. All that's missing is you should have a tracking device on them too. So when I do lose them, it's like, a Find My iPhone type thing. So there's a free idea for you there.
Tag in the case for you.
Yeah, you can hang your little Apple AirTag to the case, Adam.
Yeah.
So we solved that problem for you.
Now I have no reason but to buy them. So just talking a little bit about the StartupX program. I know tomorrow's a big day for you. What have you learned in StartupX, and are you ready for tomorrow?
Yeah, we're ready for tomorrow. We've been practicing to anybody that'll listen to us on even our PR calls where we cut it short. We're like, hey, just watch us for 2 minutes, 2 minutes. That's it. And then I think our kids are sick of hearing about Popticals too.
Yeah.
They're our biggest critic, by the way.
Yeah. That's
for sure.
That's
yeah, we're ready for tomorrow. But for me, StartupX, like, I wish we would have joined this community from the start, because as we're going through the courses, everything that you explain in the courses resonates completely with us. And like, even though it's good to make mistakes and take those failures that we made in the beginning, like, and we're learning from them, like we probably could have cut them all in half had we listened to your course first.
Right.
So it's been very informative, and the other founders in the community are just so welcoming, so helpful. So, they're all brilliant in their own right of their profession and industry that they're in. And it's a great networking system you got.
I think the community is the biggest part, as well. Like this is an unbelievable journey. It's interesting, right? It's going to challenge you in every aspect. And it's, and it's easy to think that it's just us right now, right? Like, or whatever have you. And so to hear the different challenges just articulated in a different way by different people, and the willingness for everybody to help, there's so many communities out there that you can join, and a lot of them have, it's, this is what you're getting out of it, or, you're like, this is more giving. Right. You're giving each other peace of mind. You're giving each other ideas, thoughts. Everybody's willing to help. And so it's cool to be part of communities that are like that. Right. It's not self-serving. It's we're going to get better because we're all in this together. And so that just makes it, it's a good group that you got going here, and we're happy to be part of it.
And honestly, I don't think any entrepreneurs or founders should go at starting a business without having a community like StartupX or House of Bricks,
Yeah. And again, thanks. I don't want this to turn into a commercial for the House of Bricks, and you're making me cry because I'm working so dang hard right now. I'm telling you, it's the hardest I've ever worked in my life, but I believe in what I'm doing, and that, like what you just said, founders, they don't have to go through this alone. It is a struggle with a lot of collateral damage. And there is that quote, like, go, fast, go alone, go far, go together. But I don't even think founders go fast alone either. You're just, the only place you're going fast is like off the cliff into a mental institute. So it's important to find the right communities, whether it's us or, other like-minded communities. We've even shifted our language. Like, we're in startup mode too. Like, I'm not even calling this an accelerator anymore, because what I'm seeing is in these accelerators, all they're doing is accelerating bad problems, so like entrepreneurs get in, it's like, oh yeah, I want to, 10X my business. Oh, I want to raise capital. and they want to accelerate everything, but you have to have the right foundation, which it seems like you're in that spot now, and you have an advantage being in a physical product business that you already have inventory. So it's not like you have to build it and hope people buy it. It's there. So now it's just converting sales into people buying your experience, right? And then it can start to grow, because other consumer goods, like, you got to manufacture it, right, and hope it works. So you're ahead of the game there. So we have a couple minutes left here. Anything else you want to share with our listeners? And again, if you're watching or listening, go to popticals.com. And I do like to promote the products within our community. So I recommend that everyone buys them and leaves a positive review. So
Yeah, I recommend everyone buys them too.
yeah, exactly. Gary agrees. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think that we went over a lot of good stuff. I mean, just talking about the founder experience and so forth. I think you said you were changing the name to Academy, and honestly, I don't know if that's even right.
Yeah.
And I say that because it's, it is a community aspect. I mean, yes, there's learning to be had from material, right? But it's the relation to these different experiences and so forth, right? And so I'm not even sure what the right word is, but it's hard to explain what you're building here. And and when I'm talking about the invaluable nature of it is, I don't even think the group that we're in, we might be one of only a couple of consumer products, right? And so you might think, oh, well, that doesn't apply to us at all times, right? But once you stop learning, you're done, right? And so, like, just hearing these different things, and I think that's, honestly, it's an interesting time that we joined this, because we are pitching now. We're raising money, and we're thinking about, we have the strategy defined, right? But it's how are we communicating that to folks? And so we're balancing that plus trying to run the business, and you hear all these different aspects, and it's constantly pushing us to test ourselves, right? We're thinking about let's pressure test this. Let's break it. Where's the gaps and the holes? And we're just thinking of different questions to ask ourselves to become better. So I think it's a great experience. From a sunglass side, try us out. You won't be disappointed. It's easy to say that because we own a pair, but we own a lot of pairs, but there's free returns, all that jazz, even a try at home, like Warby Parker style. So give us a try, and you won't be disappointed.
All right. Well, thank you for sharing that. Thanks for all the positive things about the community that you shared. And now you have me rethinking Academy. Great. I ran out of room on my whiteboard, but the point of the House of Bricks really is that community element. Courses and advisory are complementary to that, but today's about you. I appreciate you coming on the StartupX Founder Series. Everybody feel free, or I'm telling you to check out popticals.com. Great product. And I will see both of you tomorrow for the internal House of Bricks contest, and hopefully see you in California over Zoom for the 2-minute drill with David Meltzer. So thank you both for joining.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Adam. Thanks.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks.